Hey, welcome to Troll Time. I'm your host, Ivan D. Curtis, aka the Troll King. And this is a show where we talk sports, movies, or anything thought provoking. Today, we'll be basically recapping last night's WNBA matchups and then also previewing tonight's matchups in the WNBA. If you've been following the show, you know I don't do the show alone. Hey, Willie and Bordy, how y'all doing today?
Ooh, it's been a busy week. Things are getting busier, but I will say this: one of the proudest things that I could talk about is that I have some Dream Credential access. So we're gonna be over here making some questions, asking some questions about all the things that are going on. So I'm really excited to talk about that and talk about my partnership with the Atlanta Voice. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely make some room so we can talk about that. I seen that today on Twitter. Hey, Willie, what's going on with you?
Hey, I'm just happy to be here talking with my peoples about this game that we love. We got a lot to talk about.
Indeed, indeed. Last night, if you were tapped into the WNBA, you had two matchups. You had the Connecticut Sun facing the Las Vegas Aces. The Aces took care of work, 87-62, and then also we had the Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever. The Atlanta Dream walked out of Indiana with a 1 point victory. First up, we're going to talk about the Las Vegas Aces and Connecticut Sun. I'll just lay the numbers out there for a second, but pretty much Las Vegas did what they came to do. I mean, they went in there, they beat up on a pretty young, and some players missing for the Connecticut Sun. Asia Wilson was back to her old ways with 22 points, 10 rebounds, double double, also 4 assists, 3 steals. Most importantly, Jewel Lloyd got back on track with 20 points, 5 rebounds. Shot 6 for 9 from three, and then you had Jackie Young chipped in with 16 points, 2 for 2 from the three. Like I said, pretty much did what they came to do. Chelsea Gray, 12 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds. And then on the other end, we had Sanaya Rivers making her debut.
Mhm.
11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, shot 1 for 2 from the three. Played a really good game. Kind of, how I pretty much imagine her. I think she's a slasher. She can do pretty much a multitudes of things. A Swiss Army knife type player. I think she played pretty good. But Tina Charles, 20 points, 5 rebounds, led the Connecticut Sun. But hey, Willie, I'm gonna let you take the bat on this one first. Your thoughts on that matchup?
Pretty much exactly what you said. Just watching the Aces do what they do, especially coming off that emotional game against New York. It's always emotional when they play New York,
Yeah.
and you that next game, especially when you're playing against a young team that's rebuilding, could be a little bit of a trap game. You could be in the lull. Nah, Connecticut caught the Aces at the wrong time. So, but if you are a young team, especially if you are a Sinai Rivers, that's the way that you want to be introduced to what is about being in the W. So for me, it was really good to see what she does. And we always talk about her quite a bit in terms of her potential, her ability to be greater later. So want to see how that all goes in Connecticut, especially when Anissa Morrow hits the floor as well.
Indeed, Border, your thoughts?
Yeah, very encouraging to see Jewel Lloyd do her thing. Obviously, coming from Seattle, really rough year, unfortunately, in shooting splits. And I feel like people are thinking that she's washed. No, I think she just had a difficult time in Seattle. And, she can have her on and off days, but it's good to see her go on. And I feel like she'll be great for the Aces. Also, too, for the Aces, still a concern when it comes to that depth in the post, but it's really good to see Crystal Bradford do her thing and contribute a little bit well as well. In terms of the Sun, uh, when it comes to all of these rookies, right? And it's like, man, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a place. Bria Hartley is an example of a player delayed, not denied, and she looked really good. I feel like she actually had a little bit more juice at times than Lindsay Allen, and I like Lindsay Allen a lot too. So, like, shout out to Bria Hartley for like improving her game as much. Tanaya, I'm really hoping that her and Anissa can find ways to contribute because, especially in the beginning, it was TC taking over, and I really it's gonna be really hard for them to find offense in their system. So the sooner that Sanaya and Anissa can become comfortable in that offense, and of course, obviously Mabry can be a little bit better than she was too. It'll be great for them because this is the first time that they've had a sold out crew in Connecticut. And of course, this would come off the verge of them about to sell and it being the worst Sun team that we've seen in a while. So I hope for the sellout fans that they have something to look forward to in those players because it's going to be a shaky year, but a developmental year, which is good for that team.
No, I agree with you. And then both games was, I'm kind of sick of the W doing this, but I mean, I understand. I understand the game and how production works and things of that nature. They don't always have a choice, but the two games at the same time is annoying. My main focus was on the Dream and the Fever matchup, of course. Where, like I mentioned earlier, the Dream pulled it out 91-90. They pretty much controlled the game. From beginning to the end. Of course, the Fever made a strong push, but came up short. I made posts about the officiating, but the Dub officiating is not the best, and you get what you get. But then on the other end, the Fever have to make free throws. That's really what it comes down to. Caitlin Clark did her thing, but just focusing on the Dream. Ryan Howard, like I mentioned, I was kind of proud of her last night. Didn't shoot the ball pretty well at all. But, 3 assists, 3 steals. She did some facilitating, made some nice plays. Also was playing some defense. Me and A. Willie talked earlier. I'm going to let him dive into that. But 4 for 13 from the 3. That's the one thing we worry about Ryan Howard is settling just for shooting threes. But did manage to get to the free throw line 6 times. So, not bad. Could be better, but not bad. The Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner combination, I think is going to be a real problem for everybody, especially both of them. I like their style of offense because both of them are shooting jump shots. They're shooting threes. They shooting mid-range jumpers. They spacing out the floor enough where at least Brittany Griner enough room to dominate inside, and she had 21 points, 8 rebounds. Her being aggressive, Brianna Jones being aggressive, I think takes a lot of pressure off Alicia Gray. And even Ryan Howard and even Tahina Papau, who, is a rookie that's playing significant minutes right now. But it's just they can be real dominating. You got a bruiser in Brianna Jones. And then you got Brittany Griner finessing down on the block. Brianna Jones, she had 19 points, 13 rebounds. When you're getting that type of production, 40 and 20 from your 4 and 5, it's a great night. And us guards know that. It makes it a lot easier on you. But and then flip it over to the Fever. Of course, Caitlin Clark did her thing with 27 points, 5 rebounds, 11 assists, shot 5 for 11 from the 3. Kelsey Mitchell, 24 points. Aaliyah Boston, definitely want to give her some flowers because she's been doing a lot of things that me and A. Willie talked about that we wanted to see, and we actually starting to see her be more aggressive, whether it's on the inside or outside, not being reluctant. She used to be reluctant to taking jump shots. Now she's taking them with confidence, and I like that with 24 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to pass it up to you, Morty. One of the things that I fear with the Fever is that lack of depth. I felt like could be an issue. Now I know we're only 2 games in. Nobody's about to overreact on any team, but just in this instance, talking about this game, lack of depth, especially not having Sophie Cunningham, who has been hooping for them in the preseason, kind of give you a teaser of what she can potentially do. Only having production basically from Lexi Hall coming off the bench was not going to be enough when you didn't get anything from Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner. And I will say this, DeWanna Bonner is not used to playing with a guard like Caitlin Clark. Like, she's not used to playing with a guard that dominates the ball as much. She's used to getting the ball in her sweet spots, either going one-on-one or getting mid-post, different type of action. Now, it's kind of funny because you think she'd be playing for a new coach the way she hasn't really been implemented in the offense. But I'm sure it's going to take some time to, get into a rhythm. But Natasha Howard, 6 points, 9 rebounds. Unfortunately, the ball was put in her hands at the end of the game, and I wasn't expecting much with that play call. But Natasha Howard is hit or miss, and she's been like that. I watched her during her New York years, and it's really not a surprise. The biggest surprise to me is Michaela Timpson not getting any tick. Like, that was a game she could have played in, like, without a doubt.
Especially with those two bigs, right? Shout out to Tip Drill Timpson, baby. A really effective shot blocker. And, that's part of the reason why she got a nod over somebody like Jaylen Brown, who would have been a great, person who could probably create their own shot off the bench. But, to have somebody who can run with somebody like Caitlin Clark, who's always up tempo, trying to look down the field and trying to make the touchdown pass. Having Michaela Timpson is very important to be a pure shot blocker in a way that Natasha Howard, like you can say on and off. I have a very rosy look about Natasha Howard because she really helped a lot of Seattle's issues back in the day, but that was back in the day, right?
Right.
Hasn't been as consistent as she wants to, and not like leading the charge as much. So her figuring out her way in this offense will be interesting. She's gonna have to move a lot and put up the ball a lot. And I think just because going against BG and somebody like Bree Jones, that's a size mismatch for sure, and not something that it's something that she wants to go against a lot. But yeah, Michaela Timpson should have had a lot more minutes. We'll see if she can integrate herself into the offense. Sophie Cunningham, I'm surprised about the lack of play that she had, and I really want her to be integrated a lot more. But shout out to Leah Boston and Caitlin. They took over in the last half of this game, and they came back in a big way. The Dream still had some issues. I feel like finding a way to manufacture offense. A lot of that I feel like it's because of not having somebody like Jordan Canada to facilitate the offense. I think they do a good job driving on the inside, kicking out to the outside. That's how their offense is going to be if it's not run through the post. But sometimes it can stagnate, and so we'll see if that changes once JC is back to healthy. It's like 6 weeks, right? I believe like 2 months or something like that for her. So hopefully that can come back and come together. But in terms of the Dream, they're gonna be a great team. The fact that you have Bree Jones and BG who can get it on their own, even if you do have sometimes, Ryan Howard, obviously when it comes to big moments in shot producing, you want her to take the responsibility a lot better. But at least you have Alicia Gray, who's also hooping. Nas Hillman's contributing a lot in a lot of ways. She's hitting the 3 now all of a sudden. That's good. Nia Coffey can hit the 3, and Tahina Powpow as well. This is a good roster construction for what they want to do inside, outside. And I feel like because of that, they're going to last throughout a lot of good games this season. And sky's the limit for the Dream. We'll see how they do in the playoffs, especially against teams like the Liberty. Good luck with that. But at least for now, good things are good in Atlanta. And we'll see how well Smesko is able to take advantage of Alicia and Tahina and maybe get Rye to not settle like you guys are probably going to talk about.
Yeah, real quick, Willie. Sophie Cunningham, she's out with an injury, so that's the reason why she didn't play. So, but when you talk about the roster construction, just real quick, Shatori Walker Kimbrough, Maya Caldwell, like those type players are coming in and contributing right away. Like whether it's on defense or whether it's on offense, and I thought those are the type players that you need coming in that second unit. And then the other thing I wanted to say is that often in the W, the veteran players shouldn't always have to be starters. And I think that's where they feel pigeonholed probably in Indiana, because I do not think at this level of where Natasha Walker is right now, she's not a starter. I don't feel like she's a starter, but maybe just due to youth and inexperience with that Fever roster, when you look at the bench, yes. But far as her production and where she's at now in her career, I don't feel like she's a starter, and that's just my thoughts about that. Hey Willie, you got the flow.
Watching this game was interesting. We were all texting in our group thread when this game was going on. And I'll say this, been one that to whom much is given, much is required. And when I look at Ryan Howard, the amount of ability that she has, I said this earlier, she literally could be one of the top 5 players in the world if she were more consistent. And I feel like their team is only going to go ultimately as far as her consistency allows them to go. But I will say this, I was encouraged by the fact that she didn't start off shooting the ball well, featured by the settling for the 3 for a player that can score on all 3 levels. But what got her in the game was guarding Caitlin Clark. Now, so that got her really going. It's great to see that. The problem with that is they don't play Indiana every game of the year, right? So if that's what's going to get you going, we might have some issues. But I just want to see Ryan Howard really take that step because I really believe she's a 3-level scorer. She's an elite defender when she wants to be. She's a really good decision maker. She can do a whole lot of things. Now, let me say this about Indiana. There's a lot of discourse about what's going on in the NBA. Some people were down on Nikola Jokic because of the fact that, man, he's fatigued. He's fatigued because he's playing against bigs in the last series that they just played where they lost in 7, where they played Minnesota, where they were quality bigs. Shout out to Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston was balling against 2 bigs. Balling. So shout out to Aaliyah Boston. I really love to see that. Like OG said earlier, that's something that he and I were talking about a lot, especially given the fact that Caitlin Clark came and accelerated that need for her to improve, and she has done it. So shout out to her for that. I want to see that continued growth. But again, in a game when it was no days off, especially when you playing against 2 quality bigs, she did her thing. So I just want to highlight those things. You all highlighted everything else greatly. I just wanted to add that.
No, I got you. I mean, the two.
Last thing.
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question to both of y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to know this. Are y'all really my friends? Are y'all really my family?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If y'all don't support me like Stephanie White supported AB when Aaliyah Boston was like,
Oh my God.
Yeah. I seen that.
right?
Ride or die. Come on.
I got you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I just want to say that.
Nah.
I got y'all like that.
Nah, I like that and stuff. But Stephanie White, she always been about that. Like she don't play like, and I think you can see a lot of things trending in the right direction for the Fever when you talk about coaching. I think it was it's like this because I know the game. If you make a play call, and it works, it's golden. If you make a play call and it don't work, you're fucking trash. You're terrible. Like, but I will say this: Caitlin Clark was cooking in crunch time. You had 9 seconds. It's not like it was under 5, because under 5 you got to run a quick hitter. Like you probably won't get a pass back, but 9 seconds. And now I will say this because most people know the easiest way to get the best player the ball is to have them inbounded, because most of the time if they get it inbounds, it's quicker for them to get it back instead of them fighting double teams and everything trying to get open. So if you got any kind of basketball IQ, you know that. The problem was it was nothing designed to get her the ball back, and that's what surprised me the most. Like
post entry. Right?
Yeah, so. And she made a great pass to get her the ball, but you can tell at that moment it was never going to be any other secondary action. And to me, that was the only thing. Like I want to see Clark or Mitchell taking the last shot, with 9 seconds to go. Like it's no reason why neither one of them don't touch it. Like Kelsey is good enough for getting open. Like, so it could have went either way, but me, for my money, I want Clark or Mitchell shooting the ball, and that was my only thing. Now, people talked about the free throw disparity in the game. Now, the issue was this. Dream was 25 for 32, and Indiana was 16 for 26. And when you lose a game by 1 point and you miss 10 free throws, you can't even talk about the refs. to a degree. Of course, the officiating was terrible because, it started off early in the game. I'd never seen so many challenges. And Debbie Antonelli, she was so ready to get to halftime because that first half, it took forever. But
she said it.
Yeah. All right. I was like, hey, I meant to clip it when she said
But the Dream ended up giving the Fever like the bonus like halfway through the third. Like you had plenty opportunity to get a great, not even just like come back to get a lead during that, and they just kept on missing, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I mean, when you look at who was missing the free throws, Natasha Howard. This is my only thing when like I know from being on the sideline, like when you're thinking about giving the ball to somebody for a game winner. We playing the percentages. We looking at who on fire that night. Like who was really Natasha Howard was 3 for 9 and 0 for 4 from the free throw line. Even if she catch it and don't get a shot up and get fouled, the percentages is not on your side right now. Like
I think it was because BG got out the game, but I feel like Nia Coffey was still hooping too and playing great defense. So like I don't even get that. Coffey. Yeah.
Outside of that shot block, like OG said.
Yeah, right.
Right. Outside of that, I love me some Nia Coffey, but go ahead.
But no, that's pretty much it. I mean, it was a great game to watch aside from the officiating. I mean, because anytime you got 3 challenges and you win all 3 challenges, it lets you know like it's some bad officiating going on because it shouldn't. And then the amount of time that it's taking for them to make a decision is crazy. Like that's got to be the next thing that go on the ballot is like how much time they get to make a decision. But yeah, it's like I said, it's early in the season. I'm not somebody who gets all antsy about criticizing players' production and the team, but there is some things to point out. Whether it's in wins or in losses this early. I mean, nobody's above being critiqued for play, especially when it's not up to par. And right now, they got some holes to fill because if you think Caitlin Clark is going to be able to drag Indiana 44 games playing at this level, don't expect much from her in the playoffs because she is human. Like, she is not going to be able to carry that team. Not even her and Kelsey Mitchell in Boston are going to be able to carry this team 44 games without getting some help from other players. Like, it's not – you asking too much and you being too disrespectful to the other contenders in the league that have depth and that have a solid starting 5 that are probably going to get more production at this current state. So it's like people got to step up. And they got to make some adjustments. I feel like they probably will, but people got to play. Like, I mean, it's simple as that. You're starting, you playing starter minutes. You got to produce. Moving on to tonight's matchups. Another thing where you got multiple teams playing at the same time, but the first matchup at least. You got 2-0 Minnesota at Dallas. Dallas at Minnesota, which is 2-0. Dallas is 0-2. And then you have Washington and Golden State. Washington is 2-0. Which is, I'm kind of salty we got these games going on at the same time because I want to watch both of them. But you got Washington at Golden State, and then you got the Sparks at Phoenix. LA is 1-1. Phoenix is 1-0. My quick spiel real quick is that, I think Minnesota is probably going they'll probably come out with this win. I think Dallas can make it interesting, but Nafisa Collier, man, is too much. It's too much. And then I like the young guns for Washington, man. It's Sonia Citron and Kiki.
Say it again. What? Who you say?
Sonia Citron and Kiki.
I'm so scared. Hey, Willie got a gun to OG's head. Say it again.
Yeah, I'm like, what I missed? Like,
no, you know I love Kiki, man.
Oh well, yeah, it's a lot to love, man. A lot to love, but
absolutely.
but I think Washington will take care of this game. Golden State got some things to figure out. And then the Sparks and Phoenix game, I feel like can go either way. Loving Kelsey Plum and her role with the Sparks. They got a lot. They got a lot of talent over there in LA. They got a lot of talent. still figuring some things out. New coach, new style of play. I think that's conducive for everybody on that roster with the style of play that they have. I think everybody's touching the basketball. Kelsey Plum has been phenomenal at picking her spots as a facilitator and a scorer, because everybody knows by nature she is a scorer. And but I think they've been doing a great job of figuring out Odyssey Sims mixing it up. I don't really. I think LA can pull it out, but man, Satu and AT they have looked really good together. And with AT, it doesn't matter what uniform she puts on, her game is still the same. And I'm gonna let y'all tackle this real quick before we get out of here. Bordy and A Willie, who y'all got tonight in these matchups?
You got it, sis. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, geez, Fee is cooking, and shout out to Courtney Williams. Like, they started off as the best duo in the league, I feel like, last year, and it kind of faltered off towards the end of the year. But Courtney and Fee are just hooping, and Fee's trying to get that MVP. Shout out to her. MVP, baby. Let's go. Love to see it. In terms of the wings, they have a lot to work out when it comes to their low post play. What Tierra McCowan are you going to get? She can do good. She can do bad. I feel like last game they should have probably leaned on her the way that they were hooping. And Enrique, you got to realize you got to give it up to the girl who's more efficient and is hooping right now, and that's Paige Beckers. I think we're starting to see the turning of the guard. We'll see if Enrique accepts the turning of the guard. You know what I mean? In terms of the Valkyries, I'm interested in see how their year goes, because they have a lot of good hustle players, but they're all older players too. And I feel like it kind of would be a wasted year if you have a whole bunch of older players and you're also a young franchise and you're also not winning games as well. You're kind of like losing in all fronts too. So hopefully they can figure out who they can cement as their team. But I think the first move, get Van Loo as a starting point guard. Make the point guard, the actual point guard, the point guard. That's so strange to me. But shout out to Kiki in the Mystics. Slim is also hooping as well. I feel like we forgot that they were doing well when Brittany Sykes was playing the Mystics, so they're on a tear. And shout out to Sarah Ashley Barker doing her thing, finding her pockets in the Sparks, in addition to obviously Kelsey Plum being in her natural scoring role. Rakia's hooping real well as well, shooting from deep, and somehow more smooth, which is impossible, it feels like.
Now I want to say this real quick, Bordy. I mean to interrupt you, but players that's out tonight. Rakia Jackson is out tonight.
With the
Ray Burrell, of course Cameron Brink, and then Copper, of course, is still out, and then Natasha Mack is out for Phoenix. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Mary Mack. No, yeah, and so no, Rakia, because she had that blow to her face, unfortunately.
You better leave that face alone too.
Dude, man, I saw a swollen lip, and she had on the most gorgeous outfit too. And she had the white boy on her makeup. I was like, no, protect her. All right, we need to go at glass case. Yes. No, like absolutely. Come here, get away. I will want to see how the Sparks do, but I really feel like this Mercury squad can make things happen. So I feel like the Mercury might end up winning that one.
All right. Hey, Willie, what you got?
Stuff is interesting. I saw the Wings and the Lynx open up the season in person. And, it was, again, we talk about Fee in the chat all the time. Mm-hmm. Again, and obviously we love Asia, right? It is a real conversation about who's the best player in the world. It's a real conversation. Mm-hmm. Made that a real conversation. And I texted to you all, it's very rare that an elite player that has wing skills or perimeter skills, it's very rare that they move without the ball well, because the ball is always in their hands. Mm-hmm. Fee is probably the best player that has perimeter skills, that can go inside out and move in without the ball all over the floor, because what it allows, it allows a Courtney Williams to get off. It allows Elena Smith. It allows Fee is the easiest player for other people to get off, because it's so effortless when you watch her, because she moves without the ball so well. She gets to spots on the floor where she needs to be, and she understands that better than any player that I've seen in the league thus far, in terms of being an elite player with perimeter skills, moving without the ball. Because again, they don't have to, because the ball always finds them. The other thing too, when you watch Fee in person, that's so impressive. When you see her, she's mild mannered. You think so? She's thin, ain't soft at all. Taking contact. My girl is out there initiating contact. What Pac said is bomb first. Yeah, Fee out there bombing first. Like, ain't no, I'm gonna take your blow. I'm going to initiate. So it's just crazy watching it. And then to y'all's point, watching Dallas play, so the movement of the ball is a lot better. Even though I know people are saying whatever they're saying about Rike, but the ball is moving a lot more because when Paige is on the floor, it makes other people pass.
Yes.
The other thing that's hard, when they were in the game early, they were also connected better defensively, because you can't estimate, it's hard to quantify how hard people will play defensively when they know they'll get the ball. So that's the other thing too, that, and it'll get better with Dallas and things. So I'm really looking for that. I'll say this for all the players. Of course, I'm excited about what's going on in Washington with the rookies. Of course, Kiki, y'all know that, whatever, hashtag fight on. But the thing that I'm really interested in seeing, that I wanted to see with Ray Burrell, and unfortunately she's out. We saw that. We talked about it earlier with Aaliyah Boston. We're going to see it with Rakia, but she's out. Jordan Canada's also out. Satu Sabali's playing so well right now. I think one of the things that's the sort of tying, uniting strand for that is all of them played in Unrivaled. You said it in terms of she came into camp healthy and at a lighter weight than she was playing at last year in Dallas when she was hurt, when she was trying to come back while she was hurt out with that shoulder. So seeing players make that jump, things to their back from Unrivaled. Azurá Stevens is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she has carried that play on from Unrivaled, stretching the floor as a big, all those things. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. So I really am interested in seeing how those players, they take that, not only that skill development, but that confidence that they gain in Unrivaled, maybe playing in a different role and translating that to their WNBA team.
Gotcha. Yeah, Satu, 27 points.
Y'all know that's my girl too.
Yeah, 27 points. Kelsey Plum at 27. You got Fiat at 28 and a half in 2 games. Yeah, some good basketball being played. I will say this: Washington is really gonna be interesting whenever they get Aaliyah Edwards back. That's gonna be another hooper. And then I need my girl Shakira Austin to get it together. All right, because she got the talent, but I'm like, girl, like you don't, she been struggling to be healthy. And then you get healthy, and then you get ejected by sitting on the bench.
In like 3 seconds, man.
Yeah, so
the Tim Duncan.
Hey, so tonight will be some interesting games. Before we get out of here, Bordy, I want you to let everybody know what you got going on cooking down there in the A.
Oh yeah. I ended up going to NABJ, which is really good if you're like a young person in the media field and you want to like get better as a journalist or whatever, right? So I ended up going to it. I ended up meeting Donnell Suggs, part of the Atlanta Voice, editor-in-chief of the Atlanta Voice, and he does a lot of sports coverage. I just asked him, hey, you have an Atlanta United hat? And then we had like 3 conversations, like boom, podcast, like let's go, dream games, let's go, right? So I'm very excited to say that I am going to be working with the Atlanta Voice, doing a podcast and probably some additional coverage with the Dream, with the Braves, with the Hawks, a lot of other things too in sports world, but primarily the Dream. So in a lot of those Dream press conferences, don't be surprised if you hear my voice and you hear me asking a question. And I encourage you all to slide me whatever questions that you might have too. That's not gonna get me kicked out, right? Not like, why is it Ryan Howard? No, I'm just kidding. But I'm super excited. Proud to see where this journey goes, and I thank both of you all too. I feel like talking to you all, especially when I first started Esports Extra, really helped me believe that I can talk sports and that I know what I'm talking about. and I needed that confidence to be who I am and to do what I'm doing. So I thank you both for just believing in me and listening to me and kind of being like, hey, she knows what she's talking about. Because I surely didn't believe that I did, but I did. So yeah,
Nah,
thank you.
we proud of you, and we
Yeah.
definitely, make sure you send us in the chat what's going on so we can tap in and stay in tune. I seen the first episode is supposed to drop tonight. If I'm
Yeah, first episode. It's gonna drop tonight on the Atlanta Voice YouTube. So go ahead and look out for that and check out my Twitter. I'll actually have the exact link for you all. So
no,
Bordy at Bordy_McBoard on the Twitter world.
I'll make sure I put the link in the description when I upload this to YouTube. But
Man,
hey Willie, you got anything you want to get off your chest? Really quick, really quick.
just watch the games, man. Watch the games. Watch the games and enjoy the games. Don't normalize greatness because greatness is greatness. It doesn't matter what the package is and all those things. Don't bring all that crazy shit to these games.
Mm-hmm.
And let these women hoop and enjoy these women for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
If you got things, you got personal issues, talk about your personal issues in the forum where you should talk about your personal issues. Let these women cook, man.
And can I add on to that? You can't get mad at Angel Reese for learning how to be a point forward. Well, you can't complain about Camila and Angel's fit together, and then Angel's starting to learn point forward skills, and then you're like, why is she like trying to learn point forward skills? Let her develop. Let people grow. Okay, like you can't ask for both ways. That's crazy to me. So she's learning.
Amen.
And she's
Amen.
getting there because she had it in Maryland. So give it time, man. Let her cook. Let everyone cook.
Yeah, I mean, if
Let these players play.
I had to piggyback off of that, it's like, but none of these rookies or second year players are finished products. Like we don't know where some of these players are going to be in the next 3 to 5 years. So, leave room for growth. I think a lot of them do really good things. I think some of them do things poorly. With Angel Reese, I think when I think of her game, I think has been misusage of her talent and ability because she got by with being big and physical and having a high motor. And anybody knows in the game of basketball, whether it's men or women, when you have those attributes and you are naturally a high motor, high energy player, you can get by at the high school and collegiate level. Now, when you get to the pros, you become limited if you don't increase your skill set. And I think that's the thing with her that it's going to take some time. But I like the situation that Marsh is putting her in to develop that, because anybody knows if you coaching, like if you want a player to get better, they only get better during the game. You don't get, like people say, oh, you need to be, yeah, of course they go to the gym. Of course you spend hours in the gym, but that doesn't do anything compared to game time situations. And I think, like I said, she spent all her collegiate years, being a JYD. And I mean, and she was successful at it. She was successful, but now it's going to leave room for more growth, which I think is going to happen. The only thing I was going to say, aside kind of joining in with A. Willie, is that, man, watch the games. Like a lot of it surprises me how so many people saying they'll come on a post and saying, ain't nobody watching that and all this and all, but got the most to say. Like, but you ain't watching. Like,
why are you here?
Why
you wasting your time for something you don't care about, allegedly.
Man, hey, y'all stop being first graders. If y'all like Angel, just say you got a crush on her.
Come
I
on.
can say she's pretty. Stop acting like first graders that can't express themselves. So you hit the girl and tease the girl that you like. You think she's pretty? Just say it, bro. Like, gosh.
I don't even
Lies.
I don't even entertain those because I take Angel out of the equation. Just most of the people that I talk about, they sit up and talk about, some of the WNBA players and them not being attractive. And then I go to their profile and whatever they hugged up on ain't all that neither. So it's like, what are we talking about?
Who ain't attractive?
Hey,
Who ain't attractive?
Right. Let's start with the first. I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Yeah, but hey, that's our time. And just make sure you tap in to these games tonight and the rest of the week. And remember, we are here to laugh, show love, promote, talk sports, movies, joke, and troll. Catch us on the next episode.